Good morning, and welcome to Sonyabeonit's channel. Today we're out towards Six Flags at the Riverside Conference Center. I'm gonna find out where we're going. This is nice though. I've never been out here before. They're having something for single moms, some kind of conference or whatever, and my son's gonna record it, so I decided to just tag along with them.
Could you introduce yourself for me?
Absolutely. Diana Watley here from Atlanta, Georgia. Atlanta's top motivational speaker, life coach, family advocate, and super excited to be here at the Riverside Epic Center in Austell, Georgia for the Moms Conference.
All right, what brought you out to the Mom Conference today? And tell me a little bit about what got you into your field of work as far as being a motivational speaker.
Absolutely. Well, I'm a guest speaker here today at the Moms Conference. I had an opportunity to inspire the women regarding connections and friendships and how to handle tough times. Been in the field on December 13th will be 10 years that I've been a motivational speaker and a life coach, and I have a need for change. I have a need for inspiration. So that's what juxtaposed me to, or got me into the field that I'm in. And so I love what I do. I love fellowshipping with women. I love inspiring women because everybody needs someone to be there for them.
All right, is there anything you're hoping to get across to the people today as far as motivating them to live a better life?
Absolutely, absolutely. We're all charged with the responsibility to live, but not only to live, but to live abundantly. And I hope that the women had an opportunity to get something from today's message that would leave them, have them leaving better than they came, feeling more fulfilled, feeling better about themselves, more confident, more spirited, so that they can pass those things off to not only their children, but the people that they're connected to, so they can start living more purpose-driven lives.
That sounds great. And do you have any closing statements that you would like for the viewers to know about?
I have my fourth motivational project entitled Girl Get Out of Your Feelings, which is an empowerment CD coming out this December. Super excited about the change that it's going to create for women's lives. I have one of my other books, 100 Ways to Be Fabulous, both inside and out, co-authored by beauty expert Tracy Nicole. And so everything I do is for the gift to empower women and bring them closer to their destinies and their realities. And Ms. Hart, I don't know where you went again, but I know I'm here to speak about faith. Yet before I can speak about faith, we can't speak about faith without highlighting the areas of our life that are preventing us from activating our faith. Somebody say your connections. Your connections. That's number one, your connections. Quote number 76 of my book of affirmation tells us that some of us are in the perfect storm with the wrong people. Some of us are in the perfect storm with the wrong people. This is the season where you're supposed to learn your most valuable lessons, but you can't learn those lessons fast enough because of who you are connected to. And I want to encourage you in this season to get your team right. Because the storm that you're going to face in this season, you're going to need the right team for. And I'm not speaking about those typical friends that we refer to as ride or die because of the time they've been in our lives. But I'm speaking about those friends that are praying for you whether you are up or down. I'm not speaking about those friends that use our fall from grace as an opportunity to make themselves look bigger and better. And I want to caution you, I want to caution every woman in this room to be leery of women who are willing to talk about other women when you're around. Because when you're not around, they're talking about you too. Hashtag get your team right. Hashtag get your team right. Because unfortunately, we as women, we give each other such a hard time. We give each other such a hard time. And we're not having the type of success that we desire in our lives because our connections are off. And the number one reason why women are not in a position to help and empower each other in this season is because we're fake. F-A-K-E. Don't look at nobody. I don't think you're talking about them. Just look straight ahead and say, stop being fake. I'm glad you told me. Ladies, let's keep it real. Most of us can't grow into the women we are designed to become because we are jealous, envy, and unhappy. And that's holding us back. Don't say you wish me well and when I get well, you get mad. I'm just saying that I said I'm going to keep it real. I told you I can keep it real. Don't tell me you see the level of greatness inside of me, but when I reach that level of greatness, you start hating. If we want to learn how to remain powerful, we need to start keeping it real with ourselves. We must be honest. And the truth is, you want to see that woman be great, you just don't want her to see be greater than you. Because if I become greater than you, that causes you to look at yourself and examine your flaws and insecurities and your lack. And now you place yourself in a competition with me when it's not supposed to be like that. Your connections are off. Your connections are keeping you from having an authentic and genuine friendships, ladies. Right along. Number 3, say your speech.
Your speech.
Awesome. I know we hear it all the time, but life and death is in the power of the tongue. But if we know this to be true, then our vocabulary should only be filled with words that give us life.
That's right.
Words have power. They shape your reality. Your words connect to your thoughts, and together they seal the deal. Therefore, stop talking yourself out of your next level. The sad part is our haters don't have to say anything negative about us because we do it for ourselves. Quote 46 of my book instructs us not to be afraid to have a success story because the obstacles in your life have convinced you that you shouldn't, because success is yours for the taking. Ladies, stop condemning yourself. The enemy and haters don't have to condemn us because we do it all on our own. But the opposite of condemnation is confirmation. And confirmation means the act of establishing correctness or truth. And if you stand in agreement with me right now, I want to confirm some things in you. You are significant. You are great. You represent excellence. Everything your enemies and your haters say about you and your future is a lie. You are not a failure. You will make a mark on this world. You will leave a legacy of greatness. You have what it takes to make it out of your storms. Your heartbreaks today will soon become the reason you smile tomorrow. You are not second place, you are first. You are not another stretch when you are a God's treasure. You are greater than your circumstances. You are an overcomer. You are already victorious in your fight, but you have to start being aware of what to say to yourself. I know it's cliche to say that, okay, look in the mirror every day and affirm yourself, but you have to be able to do that. So often we post a picture and wait for confirmation and validation from the like button. Push your own like button in this season. Learn to start pushing your own like button in this season, because can't nobody validate you. That's why they call it self-esteem, because you're supposed to give it to yourself. Thank you. I'm just saying. We're going to move right along, and this might be uncomfortable. We're going to move right along. Our last point is your relationship. Everybody say your relationship.
Your relationship.
And I don't know who this is for, because I know we do have some married women in the room, but whoever this is for, please. Hold top positions at major corporations, have nice financial portfolios, can balance the heck out of a checkbook, and stay counting her coin, yet she isn't smart enough to count the cost in a relationship. Isn't smart enough to count the cost of what opening the door on a relationship that God has shut the door on will do for your life. Isn't smart enough to count the cost of what. Don't just be satisfied with the open car or restaurant door when your life is not prospering as a result of him being a part of your life. Be willing to wait on the man that God has for you, because you are supposed to be happy. This is what this conference is about. And I want you to understand that in this season, it's time to start severing ties with people who are not moving you to your next level. It's time for you to get what you need. I'm a family advocate, and one thing I know for sure is that you can have children all day long, but if you're not happy, you're not giving them happiness.
That's right.
You're only passing down those things that you didn't deal with. So for right now, I'm done with my speech, but my Holy Spirit is just telling me to be obedient right now. And Norman Cousins has a quote that says, death is not the greatest loss. He says that death is not the greatest loss, but the greatest loss is what you allow to die inside of you as you live. And so I'm going to step out on a limb right now, because we're here to celebrate, but if you leave out the same way you came, I'm doing myself a disservice. So for right now, I want to step out on a limb and apologize for all the hurt. I don't know who it's for, but somebody in this room is dealing with hurt from love. Somebody in this room, although you're an adult, is still dealing with hurt from an absent father or a lack of a support system. But it's our thing not to go out the same way we came. And I haven't read anybody's journal, but I want you to let it go and release it today. So you can just stand up, and I want you to just tap this stage, whoever it is. If y'all perfect, that's fine, but I'm not perfect. God has sent me through hell and back. But I want you to tap this stage right here. And once you tap this stage, whatever it is that you are dealing with leaves at this moment. Whether it's fear, whether it's doubt, whether it's a relationship, whether it's feeling neglected, feeling not good enough. Come on, start moving, because you're not going to get no deliverance if you stay seated. Whatever it is, once you tap this stage, you saying it doesn't matter anymore. people that you didn't know. Meet a woman that you didn't know. We have to learn how to start pouring into each other and the value of giving a compliment. Thank you for your time.
We are raising the next generation of women and moms. We have to let them know the world is not going to validate you. I'm not even going to be able to validate you, but I'm going to let you know how awesome you are. So as I said, I have a 12-year-old daughter who is not allowed to be on social media. She has one little Instagram page that is a sad rendition of an Instagram page. But as I told her, I said, I don't want you to get caught up in the world, because I don't want anyone making you feel less of who you are because somebody didn't like your picture. I think you look awesome when you get up and get dressed in the morning, and that's really all that matters. What you wear, and if your friends like it or not, I could care less. Because probably this afternoon I'm not going to still have these shoes on because my feet gonna hurt. So I'm gonna get pictures early in the day, and guess what? I'm gonna put them on the Instagram. Well, guess what? By 4 o'clock I'm gonna still have these pictures on. Okay, so that's what we have to, people put on social media what they want you to see and what they want you to know.
Hi, I'm Tracy Nicole, and I am an author, designer of Tracy Nicole clothing, and mother too.
All right, tell us a little bit about your clothing line, and also tell us about what got you into motivational speaking.
Okay, my clothing line is timeless. It's not trendy. It's for the woman who knows who she is. I have feel-good clothes, I like to call them, and you basically wear them depending on how you feel. So depending on who you are, the same person can wear the same outfit and wear it totally different.
Okay, now tell us what got you into motivational speaking.
Okay. I got into motivational speaking kind of on mistake. I've been through a lot, and what I do know is that telling your story can not only be healing, it can help you grow, but it can also help others. So my main goal is to definitely resonate and change at least one person when I speak.
Okay. What do you expect for the people to get from the message that you gave them today? What do you hope they'll go home with as far as what you told them and trying to motivate them in?
I want the women of the conference to go home motivated. I want them to go home thinking my past does not dictate my future. I want them to go home knowing they have the power to do anything they want as long as they believe they can do it and they're willing to do the work. I want them to go home thinking about what are the things that they need to deal with, what are the wounds that they need to heal in order to grow, to be their best self, to be the person God intended them to be. No person walking out of here will be the same.
Please help me welcome Ms. Tracy Nicole.
Hello. Hi. So today I'm going to do something that I've actually never done before, and I'm going to let you all in a little more than I've ever let anyone else in. I'm going to start with a story. There were two young girls, and they were born into a situation they didn't ask to be born into. You see, they had a father who went off to Vietnam and came back with severe post-traumatic stress disorder, or PTSD. He was a violent, abusive alcoholic. And they had a mother who found herself in a situation that she wouldn't have chosen to have children in. So she knew at some point she had to get her children and herself out of this situation, because the situation only grew worse with every episode. So one day, she got some garbage bags and gave it to the two girls and said, fill this up with everything that you can. Don't ask any questions, move fast. So they filled up the garbage bags, they put them in the car, and just as they got ready to leave, the mother was getting ready to put the car in reverse, and the driver's side flew open. There was a lot of yelling, there was a lot of screaming. The father grabbed the mother by her hair, dragged her out of the car, dragged her all the way into the house, and commenced to beating her. yelled, "You're not taking my kids anywhere, you're not leaving." This wasn't new to the little girls, they'd seen this before. So they knew just to go in the house and go in the bag, and everything would be back to normal the next day. The mother endured this for as long as she could. You never know what would set him off. She knew she had to try to get out again. It was either get out or her life. So this time, she said, "Look, he's still at work, let's go." There was no packing, there was no plan. They got in the car with the clothes on their backs, they sped off and they never looked back. The mom and the two girls had to start over. Thankfully, they had friends that let them come and stay with them. And when I say they had to start over, when the mom went to the bank, there was nothing there. He had withdrawn all of her money. She had to start over. She poured so much love into these little girls that they didn't even realize they didn't have anything. That mother's love was so strong, it held them up. You see, the youngest of those two little girls was me. My mother was like a superhero to me. I thought she was invincible, like she could do anything. Witnessing all of that and seeing her go through all of that, what I remember the most was her smiling. She would smile through the worst pain, and that smile gave her strength, and it gave her two little girls strength. It continues to give me strength today. My mother is still here. I talk to her every single day. And what I learned from that experience, number one, what you've gone through, it doesn't determine where you're going. What you've been through, what choices you made, what mistakes you made, it doesn't dictate where you can go. And you really have to truly believe that. Another thing I learned is that we don't choose our situations. We don't choose the situations, especially the ones we're born into. But we do choose how we respond to them. It's all up to us. And I've learned so much. I've taken so much from a horrible situation. And when you're in a situation, the response that you give, that's what people see. That's what your children see. That's what they remember. I think the biggest lie ever told is that time heals all wounds. People say that, "Oh, just give time, baby." And my entire life, we never talked about the abuse. We acted like it never happened. The first conversation I had with my mom about it was 2 years ago. And she said, "I didn't know you remembered." We have to talk about it. It would have saved a lot of hurt and confusion and pain that I went through if we talked about it. You can't be afraid to talk about things with your children. We have to deal with the wounds. We have to deal with them. You know, when they say time heals all wounds, the time just lets the wound go a little deeper. You don't feel the pain. In fact, you put it out of your mind and you can even forget about it. But it's still there. It's still there. When you deal with the pain, when you deal with your issues, your stuff, I call it stuff, because we all got some stuff. When you deal with it, you heal. And when you heal, you grow. A lot of people are afraid to grow. Because you know when you grow, you got to leave people behind because someone can't handle it. When you grow, it's challenging because you go to another level. You feel pressure. A lot of people are more comfortable staying stuck. When you grow, you have to get uncomfortable. It's part of it. And when you allow yourself to grow, it doesn't mean you change. Because some people are going to say, "Yeah, you change." It doesn't mean you change. It means you allowed yourself to do the work, to become the person that God intended it to be. That's it. And I'll repeat that because that's really important. When you allow yourself to grow, that means you are doing the work and you've done the work to allow yourself to become the person that God has intended for you to be. They say pray as if everything depends on God, and work as if everything depends on you. The two go together. You can't just pray and think it's just going to happen. You have to do the work. So prayer with works, you take over the world. To do nothing. It takes a lot of courage to do the work and deal with your stuff. I was on Facebook, which I use for business, not for personal. But there was a young girl who reached out to me, a young lady I should say, and she sent me an inbox message, and her name was Tracy Sims. I don't know if you've heard her name, but she inboxed me and she said, "Oh, Tracy, I love your clothes. I have all the speaking engagements going on. I really need you to dress me. Are you familiar with my story?" And I wasn't. So I Googled her and I looked her up and I started reading her story. And the more I read, the more intrigued I was with, oh my God, this girl was in an abusive relationship and decided to get out, and her boyfriend retaliated by dousing her with industrial acid. And you may be familiar with her story now because what Christy did to me was phenomenal, and it took so much courage. She is publicly going through this ordeal, through the trial, through the interviews, and she travels around the country now, empowering other women. So he didn't win. And I looked and I was like, this woman is so strong, oh my gosh. Never met her in person, but we sent messages on Facebook. And I applaud her for her courage. I mean, it exudes through the pages. And she has gotten to the point where she can laugh about it. And she's disfigured for the rest of her life. She didn't choose to be doused with acid, but she chose how she was going to respond to it. Another thing that I learned through my experiences is that we have all the power within us to do anything it is that we want to do. It's already in us. It's already in us. And there's some doubtful looks in the room, but I'm telling you, it takes one person to believe in yourself, and that one person is you. Once you believe, nobody can take it. Nobody can take it from you. And when I learned that, I was unstoppable. It took a long time to get there. And now it's within me to get other young girls there. Because you have to learn that. You don't come into this world having confidence, having self-esteem, having self-love. I didn't even know what love was supposed to feel like. I didn't know mommies and daddies didn't fight. I didn't know that wasn't normal. Because no one took me aside and said, this is not right. So I was confused. I had to learn. I had to seek that out in other places. Some good and some bad. And I made some choices that I might not have made had I known better. Talk to your kids. When you deal with your stuff and you heal, you start accepting yourself more. You begin thinking more about purpose and less about what someone's thinking of you. You begin thinking about what kind of legacy do I want to leave behind. You begin loving yourself. And when you love yourself, no one can take that away from you. It gives you so much power. It gives you so much power. But you have to believe it first. No one can just tell you that. So before you leave this conference, I just want you to ask yourself, what legacy do you want to leave behind? I want you to imagine your funeral. Imagine, what will your children say about you? What kind of mother would they say you are? What will your friends say about you? What will strangers say about you? And if you don't know, think about it. Think about what you want them to say and look at your life and say, if I'm doing this, will they say that? And really think about what is the legacy you want to leave behind. Each one of you made an investment to come to this conference. And what that means is you're investing in yourself. What that means is you want to grow. You want to learn. You learn and grow. So before you leave, I want you to write down 3 things that you learned from listening to all these powerful women talk. I know you got some nuggets to take away. But write down 3 things that you would change. And that's a way to get started. Just write down 3 things that moved you, that touched you, that made you want to rethink some things. I see some strong women up in here. And it feels good. God bless you. And thank you.
We all have a story to tell. We just have to be okay with telling it. So right now, I think Tracy sparked a couple takeaways for me. The funeral part, that was a good one. It kind of made me feel some type of way. I can admit that. And I say that because I was in a place, in a space. Okay, they're not going to stand at my funeral and talk about, man, she closed a heck of a deal. That's not what they're going to say when someone gives my eulogy. I don't want that to be said when someone gives my eulogy. I don't want that to be the memory that my children have of me. Because I can remember I had a corporate HR lady tell me one day, she said, you can be anything you want to be in corporate America, she said, but you're going to have to make a work-life choice. So you're going to have to miss some basketball games. You're going to have to miss some of your kids' sports. Well, why? Why do I have to miss that? Why can't I have both? Why can't I be there for my children and be a part of corporate America? Is that a bad thing? Because I want my children at my eulogy saying, my mom was at every single baseball game. That's what I want my kids to say. I want my kids to say, man, that trip we had to Disney World back in 2015, God, that was like the best vacation we've ever had. Those are the stories I want my children to tell. I don't want them to go, yeah, my mom was such a workaholic. She didn't even know what my favorite color was. I don't want that. So that was a good one to say. What are your friends and family going to say? Because your coworkers probably aren't going to be there. I'm just going to be honest. They're not going to be there. More than likely, they're interviewing for your job. They're looking to backfill that job. Okay? It's harsh reality of the day. They're not going to be there. Okay? I think those are some things both women said. Take a look at your circle. You know, I really live and die by the people come into your life for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. I have my high school friend that drove here from Memphis, Tennessee to spend the day with me. To spend one day with me. She's a lifetime for me. I told her she can't get rid of me. But there are a lot of people who are here for a reason or a season. Be okay with that reason, and then say, you know what, it was fun. Thank you for coming out, God bless you, good night. Our time is done. Or they could be to come into your life to teach you something. He sends people into our lives. He sent Cynthia to me. For whatever reason, I think we're still trying to figure that out, but he sent us to each other. And I think we both learned a lot about each other. So right now we are going to break for lunch.
Okay, so right now they're taking a lunch break, but when I tell you God will do some things in your life and you not even expect it, I did not expect this morning. I am in the right place at the right time to receive what I need to advance my life, to change my life, to make improvement, to encourage me, to uplift me. And that is why I'm sharing this video, because we all have fallen short, or we all have made mistakes. We all have needed somebody to uplift us. And when I tell you these ladies are truly a blessing, I ask that you receive this, and take whatever you need to get your situation right. So we're going to go back in and see how they started the conference again, because there are a couple of other guest speakers that are going to speak. But I pray and ask God that this truly be a blessing in your life. And if you need to see this, or if you need to look at this video every day, then so be it. We have to come together as women to help each other, to uplift each other. No more tearing each other down. Let's be a blessing in each other's lives. I can't do this by myself. So spread the word about this video, because I'm sure that it truly will be a blessing to someone else. I will see you guys in a little bit. We're going to go back in and enjoy this mom's conference. So stay tuned. There's more to come.